Hello BookTube, this is Weekly Reads. I've had a decidedly mixed reading week. I started the week gloriously. Over the course of the weekend, I finished off Iran, A Modern History by Abbas Amanat. I loved every minute with this book. Hopefully I can do justice to a review. I do tend to struggle with positive reviews because it's harder for me to identify what I liked about a book, what a book's strengths are compared to what annoyed me about a book or what I detested about a book. And those have, I think, usually they're funner to do with the negative reviews. But I will try to do justice to this book in my review. So, Iran, A Modern History is a history of the last 500 years of Iranian history, starting in 1501, and Ismail I of the Safavid dynasty reunifying Iran after a century or so of being disunited. The Safavids were initially a Sufi order that transitioned to or turned to a more traditional Shia faith and used that sort of traditional Shia faith to springboard a unification of Iran under their auspices using a Turkish tribe called the Kezelbash, and then gradually incorporating other tribes and other city-states and principalities and what have you into essentially what is modern-day Iran. And then their rule for 250 years, more like 220, actually. And then their fall, and then the 50 to 70 year interregnum, well, more like 60 or 70. Because depending on how you look at it, the Safavids fell in either the 1720s or the 1730s. And then the Qajars sort of won the long civil war to form a new dynasty in the 1770s, or very early 1780s. And then they ruled for the next 150 years until the 1920s when Reza Shah overthrew Ahmad and instituted the Pahlavi dynasty, which lasted for about 50 odd years, and then obviously the Islamic Republic for the last 40 odd years. So anyway, this book was fascinating and I loved every moment with it. I especially liked the Safavid chapters. They are by far my favorite dynasty. I also quite like the Qajars and their struggle to sort of balance the Russians in the north and the British to the south during the Britain's occupation of India, as well as trying to navigate their way through industrialization and the exploitation that European industrialization visited upon those countries that remained largely agricultural, like Iran, even if they were not exactly colonized by any of the European empires, which Iran was. despite the fact that the Russians probably did want to colonize them. But anyway, so that was fascinating, and the cultural history that Amanat focuses on during the Pahlavi and the Islamic Republic sections, I thought were really fascinating as well. So yeah, I really loved every moment with this book. I highly recommend it, and I definitely want to read more Iranian history, more in depth, more targeted. So yeah, highly recommend it. So after I read Iran, I decided to try a bit of an experiment and read 2 anthologies sort of on alternating days. In part for preparation for a Nonfiction November, not Nonfiction November, New Worlds November, which is a booktube reading event that will take place in November, created by the Bookish Bryants. I'm one of the co-hosts, and we will be reading science fiction short stories. My plan is to read science fiction short stories in between books that I read for Nonfiction November, because I do participate in Nonfiction November, and I really enjoy participating in Nonfiction November. So my plan was to read a nonfiction book, and then maybe once I finish, read from a big anthology, and then go to another work of nonfiction, and then sort of that kind of alternating. Now, whether the anthology would be like a day or a week or something, I haven't quite decided yet. So I tried it for this past week, and it didn't quite work. So I'll explain that here real quick. So the 2 anthologies I had to read were Universe 10, edited by Terry Carr. This is a science fiction anthology published in, I want to say, 1980 something. 1980 exactly. And the other one is Anti-Story, edited by Phillip Stevick. This is an anthology of experimental fiction, and this one was published in, I think, 71. Yeah, 71. So I started with Anti-Story because it is the longer of the 2, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then this one on Tuesday and Thursday. So for Anti-Story, they weren't exactly bad. The stories it didn't exactly tick me off, but they also didn't do anything for me. I was just mostly coldly analytical and didn't really enjoy what I read. So some stories that really jumped out to me were The Seventh Trunk by Heinrich Boll, The Coal Shoveler by Keith Fort, I thought was fairly strong. And The Rhinoceros by Eugene Ionesco, I thought was quite good as well. But the rest of the anthology left me rather cold. And the same can largely be true of Universe 10, although in this one I'm a bit harsher on my criticisms of this one. Now, as a huge caveat, for whatever reason, I do have issues reading vintage science fiction. They don't age very well in my estimation. I'm not entirely sure if it's the world building or if it's some combination of writing, character, world building, and story that just really feels incredibly dated to me. And it saps all enjoyment from vintage science fiction reading for me. Hopefully I can get over that, but it didn't quite work in this case. And I would say probably of the stories in this anthology, the one I liked the most would have been A Source of Innocent Merriment by James Tiptree Jr., which was okay up until the final image. In which case I gave a long sigh, wish I had something I could look over my glasses at like this and scowl. Because, really? And then I think Ugly Chickens by Harold Waldrop. I could see how it was like the one that won the awards, because it won the Nebula for that year or the year before. I didn't like the tone. I wish the narrator sounded more like a scientist and not what Hollywood thinks a scientist sounds like or acts like. But anyway. And the less said about first person plural by F.M. Busby, the better. Because that one pissed me off big time. So anyway. So that was disappointing. So this coming reading week, I have 2 works of history. I will be returning to history. Over the course of this weekend, I'm planning on reading Greece, Biography for Modern Nation by Roderick Beaton, which I'm quite looking forward to. And during the work week, I am planning on reading The Fall of the Ottomans, The Great War in the Middle East, 1914 to 1920 by Eugene Rogan. What else am I planning on doing this coming week? So, I know I haven't been filming as often as I would like. So part of my absence for the past few weeks has been I've been watching Loki on Wednesdays. So this past week, I didn't film anything on Wednesday and Thursday because I was helping my mom with some projects, which I finished for now, so hopefully that time I can use for filming. I've also been wanting to do the cancel culture tag created by Gunpowder Fiction and Plot, and I've been struggling with it. So hopefully I can have another go at this tag on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I'll probably do the next in the Alphabet tag series by Jim's Books, Reading, and Stuff. And then hopefully I can get a few more tags in on Wednesday and Thursday. On Friday will be my July book haul. It's going to be pretty big. Right now I have 14 books. I will be getting a 15th this weekend. And I have 2 other orders that haven't yet shipped. Although I'm thinking one of them might have shipped while I've been filming this video, because I film on my Kindle and emails will kind of pop up. And I think I saw one from from Powell's, who is one of the bookstores I ordered with. So that one's probably shipped, although probably won't come until the beginning of August. And the other order I'm looking forward to is from the University of Princeton Press. They had a sale this past week, and I ordered some books on last Thursday, and they haven't shipped yet. And I'm panicking a bit about that. Although the University of Princeton Press does tend to take a bit of time before they ship, so probably nothing to worry about. But if they don't ship by next Thursday, I'll email them to see what's going on. But anyway, so certainly there will be a 15 book haul this coming Friday. Maybe more if some of my other orders come in. If not, they will form part of August's book haul, which I'll talk about a bit next Friday as a look ahead. So anyway, BookTube, until next week, thank you, have a great evening and weekend, and stay safe.